Walk down the supplement aisle right now, and you will probably see it. A little orange bottle, magnesium glycinate, promising calmer nerves and deeper sleep. Search for it online and you will find millions of people swearing it fixed their anxiety, their insomnia, even their brain fog. Here is the strange part. Almost none of those people have ever actually had their magnesium level checked. Think about the last time you got routine blood work done. Cholesterol, blood sugar, maybe vitamin D. Magnesium almost never makes that list, and there is a real biological reason for that. Less than 1% of the magnesium in your entire body is floating around in your blood. Almost all of it is locked away inside your cells and your bones, which makes a simple blood test a strange, incomplete window into something that matters far more than most people realize. Magnesium was only identified as an element in 1808 by the chemist Humphrey Davy, and named after a region of ancient Greece called Magnesia. But the idea that a shortage of it could quietly reshape how your brain ages is a much newer and much messier story. To understand why researchers even bother chasing this question, you first need to know what magnesium is actually doing inside you every single second. It is the fourth most abundant charged particle in your body, and it is essential for keeping your cells and organs running at all. Hundreds of separate enzyme systems depend on it, from how your muscles contract to how your cells generate energy. But the part that matters for this story is different. Magnesium can cross the blood-brain barrier, and it plays a direct role in how neurons mature and communicate inside your central nervous system. Researchers have mapped out several ways it might protect brain tissue. It helps keep the blood-brain barrier itself intact by limiting oxidative stress and inflammation. It helps maintain the fatty myelin sheaths that insulate your nerve fibers, the same structures that let electrical signals travel fast and clean. It also acts like a natural brake pedal. Magnesium blocks a specific receptor called NMDA from letting too much calcium flood into brain cells, a process that, left unchecked, can literally excite neurons to death. None of this is theoretical. In animal studies, cutting magnesium out of an animal's diet directly impaired the kind of memory that depends on the hippocampus, the brain's memory hub. Give animals extra magnesium, whether orally or injected straight into the brain, and researchers have seen less neuroinflammation, less loss of the connections between neurons, and measurably better learning and memory. So why should any of this matter to you personally, beyond a curiosity about lab mice? Because the stakes attached to brain aging are enormous. Dementia already affects more than 55 million people worldwide, and that number is projected to climb to 78 million within a few years, with the global cost of caregiving expected to blow past $2 trillion. Researchers already have a decent list of things that raise or lower your odds. Smoking, a poor diet, heavy drinking, sitting still too much, depression, chronic stress. All modifiable, all well established. What is far less settled is where electrolytes like magnesium fit into that list. And that gap is exactly what pulled scientists back to this question again and again. Most people get their magnesium from leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains. The problem is that modern diets, heavy on processed food, tend to fall well short of what your body actually wants. That gap between what we eat and what our cells need is exactly why the supplement industry latched onto magnesium so hard. Magnesium glycinate for anxiety. Magnesium threonate, marketed specifically as the form that crosses into your brain better than any other. Keep that specific claim in mind, because it is about to become directly relevant. Early human research only added to the confusion instead of settling it. In one large American study of older adults, people eating the most magnesium scored noticeably higher on a standard test of processing speed than people eating the least. A separate study out of China found something similar, with higher magnesium intake linked to a lower chance of mild cognitive impairment, an effect that showed up especially strongly in women. But once researchers started tracking people for years instead of just snapshotting them once, the picture got messier. Some long-term studies found no relationship between dietary magnesium and dementia at all. A few even pointed in the opposite direction entirely. On top of that, earlier attempts to summarize this field only ever looked at Alzheimer's disease specifically, using small case control studies, and even those disagreed with each other. One review found lower magnesium in spinal fluid and hair among Alzheimer's patients, but not in blood. A later, more updated review found the opposite pattern, a real difference in blood but not in spinal fluid. Here's a strange question, worth sitting with for a second. If two different reviews of the exact same evidence can flatly disagree with each other, how is anyone supposed to land on one clean, trustworthy answer about magnesium and memory? That is precisely the gap a team from the University of Massachusetts Lowell and Tufts University set out to close. Nobody had ever pulled together every randomized trial and every long-term cohort study on magnesium, in every form, diet, supplements and blood biomarkers, against every kind of cognitive outcome, all in one place. So that is what they decided to build. Before we get to what they found, it helps to understand just how much magnesium your body actually needs, and how easy it is to miss that number without ever noticing. For most adults, the recommended amount lands somewhere between 265 and 350 milligrams a day, depending on sex and age. That sounds like a small, easy target. In practice, tracking that precisely, day after day from food alone, is harder than it looks. And stress makes it worse. Chronic stress, heavy caffeine and alcohol all push your body to excrete more magnesium than usual, right at the moments your nervous system could use it most. There is also a hormonal side to this that rarely gets mentioned. Magnesium helps regulate blood pressure and vascular tone, partly by keeping certain hormones and blood vessel constrictors in check. Chronic shortfalls have been tied to a higher risk of high blood pressure, which is itself one of the clearest, best established risk factors for vascular dementia. Put all of that together, and you get a nutrient that is quietly wired into your cardiovascular system, your nervous system, and your cellular energy supply all at once, yet almost never gets checked in a routine appointment. That is the backdrop the research team was working against. Vague public awareness, a booming supplement market making big promises, and a scientific record that could not agree with itself. To fix that, they registered a formal review protocol in 2023 and searched 4 major databases for every relevant study published up to May of 2024. The initial search returned 3,812 articles. After screening titles, abstracts, and then full papers, they were left with a much smaller, much more rigorous pool, just 3 randomized controlled trials and 12 long-term cohort studies that actually met their criteria. Let's start with those 3 trials, because one of them lines up almost perfectly with that supplement claim from earlier. The first trial gave breast cancer patients magnesium L-threonate, the exact form marketed as crossing into the brain more effectively, at a dose of 8 milligrams a day for 12 weeks. Cognitive test score showed no meaningful improvement over placebo. The second trial was folded inside a larger colorectal cancer prevention study. Adults over 65 who took a personalized magnesium dose, averaging around 216. 5 milligrams a day showed a real, measurable jump in their cognitive test scores compared to placebo. Researchers even traced part of that benefit to changes in how a gene linked to Alzheimer's risk was being switched on and off. The third trial was small, in patients with liver cirrhosis, and found a genuine memory benefit after 520 milligrams of magnesium oxide a day for 8 weeks. So one trial showing nothing, one trial showing a real benefit tied to a specific age group, and one small positive result in a very particular patient population. 3 trials simply is not enough evidence to declare a winner either way, and the researchers say exactly that. So after pulling together every trial and cohort they could find, what did the data actually reveal about magnesium and your brain? The clearest answer came from blood itself, not diet. 5 separate cohorts, spanning the United States, Denmark, and the Netherlands, some enormous, including a Danish cohort of over 102,648 people, all converged on the exact same pattern for magnesium measured directly in the blood. The lowest risk of dementia and cognitive impairment clustered right around a serum magnesium level of 0, 85 millimoles per liter. Drop below 0, 75, and the pooled risk of dementia or cognitive impairment climbed by 43% compared to that optimal point. Climb above 0, 95, and the risk still went up by 30%. Not a straight line where more is simply better. A curve shaped like a U, where both running low and running high tracked with worse brain outcomes. The dietary side of the picture stayed a lot messier, even after formal analysis. Across 6 cohort studies, Daily magnesium intake ranged from as low as 116 milligrams to as high as 508 milligrams. Two separate analyses from that same long-running Japanese study both landed on the same sweet spot, around 180 milligrams a day, as the point with the lowest dementia risk. But a cohort out of Shanghai found the opposite relationship entirely, with higher magnesium intake tracking with more dementia risk, not less. The UK Biobank, with more than 161,376 participants, found no clear relationship in either direction at all. When the team ran the full mathematical model across all the dietary data, a possible curve did emerge, with the lowest projected risk sitting around 240 milligrams a day. But statistically, it fell just short of the researchers' own threshold for significance. The researchers are careful about what their U-shaped curve does and does not prove. Every study behind it is observational, which means people with unusual blood magnesium levels might differ from everyone else in ways no analysis can fully strip out, from kidney function to underlying illness that changes magnesium levels on its own. Their own confidence rating for the blood magnesium findings lands at moderate, not high. The dietary intake evidence is rated even lower, mostly because the individual studies contradict each other so directly. What does not survive this review is the idea that magnesium is a simple dial you can crank up for a sharper memory. What does survive is something narrower and more interesting. Your brain seems to want magnesium to sit inside a fairly precise window, and both running short and overshooting may carry a real cost. So the next time you see that orange bottle promising calm nerves and a clearer mind, the honest answer sitting underneath the science is not yes or no. It is that your body was probably already aiming for a target far more specific than more.